Ancient Egypt, a civilization that flourished for over 3,000 years, offers a fascinating window into the lives of its people, particularly when it comes to love and marriage. The famous Greek historian Herodotus was taken aback when he visited Egypt, noticing how the Egyptians seemed to turn many societal norms upside down. From the way they approached love and marriage to their more relaxed views on relationships, ancient Egypt was truly unique. In this video, we'll explore the concept of love, marriage, and family life in ancient Egypt, shedding light on why these practices were so revolutionary for their time. The nature of love and marriage in ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, marriage was primarily a social contract designed to secure stability, foster the growth of families, and ensure the continuation of one's lineage. While it was typically an arranged institution, there were many elements that reflected a genuine connection between the partners. Despite the practice being more practical than romantic, the Egyptians placed significant value on affection, mutual respect, and partnership within the marriage. Marriage in ancient Egypt was expected to be monogamous, though pharaohs and high-ranking officials were exceptions to this rule. The majority of citizens, however, adhered to the notion of a single partner, with the ultimate goal of maintaining social harmony and ensuring the birth of future generations. Interestingly, the idea of romantic love wasn't entirely absent, as love and companionship were considered crucial to a fulfilling marriage. One of the most compelling examples of this can be found in the tomb of the young pharaoh Tutankhamun. His tomb is decorated with beautiful artwork depicting him in intimate, loving poses with his wife, Ankhesenamun. These images, often showing them hand in hand or gazing lovingly at each other, suggest that romantic affection played an important role in their relationship. These depictions reflect a deeper sense of devotion that was shared between many couples during this period. However, following Tutankhamun's premature death at just 18, Ankhesenamun vanished from historical records, likely passing away soon after him. Such imagery was common in Egyptian tombs, where paintings depicted couples sharing simple pleasures like dining, dancing, and working together, a testament to the strength of their companionship. These images suggest that, despite marriage being largely driven by social and familial needs, love was still a significant aspect of life in ancient Egypt. The bachelor life, preparing for marriage. In ancient Egyptian society, marriage was typically a rite of passage that came after reaching adulthood. For young men, the ideal age for marriage was generally between 16 and 20, by which time they were expected to have a stable income or trade to support a family. On the other hand, girls were considered ready for marriage after their first menstruation. It was a practical step toward forming a family and securing one's future within society. Interestingly, there were no grand wedding ceremonies as we might imagine today. In fact, a woman was considered married as soon as she entered her husband's house, marking the start of their life together. Marriages were usually arranged by the families of the couple, often with a bride price agreed upon by both sides. While not a dowry in the conventional sense, this bride price was a gift from the groom's family to the bride's family. The groom would also give gifts to his wife, often including material possessions or even livestock. In ancient Egypt, marriage was considered an agreement to establish a household rather than a religious or legal contract. There was no official state or religious oversight of marriages, and no formal registration took place. This lack of bureaucracy allowed for flexibility in the relationships, as couples were expected to love and honor each other in a partnership that was built on mutual respect. Moreover, ancient Egyptians believed in the equality of men and women. After the creation of the world, the goddess Isis was said to have made men and women equal in power. While men were often seen as the dominant gender in practice, women were highly respected, particularly in the household. Women had a great deal of freedom and could hold property, conduct business, and even act as priestesses. The marriage relationship was considered an equal partnership, with both parties having their own roles and responsibilities. The role of family. The importance of family in ancient Egypt cannot be overstated. Children were considered a vital part of society, with respect for parents and elders being a cornerstone of Egyptian morality. The primary duty of children, especially the eldest son or daughter, was to care for their aging parents and ensure they received a proper burial. This commitment to the family unit not only ensured the continuation of familial traditions, but also ensured that the deceased could transition into the afterlife, which was a significant part of Egyptian religious beliefs. As for children themselves, the Egyptians valued both boys and girls equally. There are no records of female infanticide, which was common in many other ancient cultures, further cementing Egypt's progressive stance on gender equality. Children of all classes were highly valued, and both sexes had clear expectations for their future. Boys typically followed in their father's footsteps and learned the family trade, while girls were trained in the arts of managing the household, caring for the young and tending to the elderly. Life expectancy in ancient Egypt varied greatly depending on one's social status. For those in the lower classes, the average life expectancy was around 33 years for men and 29 years for women, largely due to high infant mortality rates and the dangers of childbirth. However, for those in the upper class, life expectancy was much higher, with many individuals living well into their 60s or 70s. The pursuit of love and sensuality. One area where ancient Egypt significantly differed from many other ancient societies was its relaxed approach to matters of love, sex, and sensuality. Contrary to the views held by many other civilizations, the Egyptians did not place a significant emphasis on virginity. In fact, there was no word for virgin in the ancient Egyptian language, suggesting that sexual experience before marriage was not seen as a matter of social concern. However, this did not mean that infidelity was tolerated once a couple was married. Monogamy was the expectation, and marital fidelity was highly valued. The Egyptians were not shy about openly discussing the act of lovemaking, which was viewed as a natural and important part of life. Many poetic works from this period celebrate the beauty of physical love and the joy of being in the company of a beloved. These love poems speak of partners sharing their joy and happiness, often using affectionate and sensual language to describe their connection. In one poem, a lover describes how their heart trembles with joy as they walk together with their partner, highlighting the emotional and physical bond that existed between them. While the Egyptians valued sensuality and love, they were also pragmatic when it came to reproduction. Procreation was seen as a vital part of ensuring the continuation of the family line, and it was closely tied to religious beliefs about fertility and the afterlife. In addition to their open attitudes toward love, the Egyptians also developed some of the earliest known forms of contraception, including honey and crocodile dung. These methods allowed couples to control their family size, even if modern-day knowledge about their effectiveness was limited. Ending a marriage. While marriage was considered a lifelong commitment, the reality of life in ancient Egypt was not always so simple. In cases where the relationship no longer worked, divorce was an option. Unlike modern societies where divorce can often be a complicated and contentious process, ancient Egyptian divorces were relatively straightforward. If a couple decided to part ways, they could simply write up a new agreement and divide their material possessions according to the terms of their prenuptial contract. In cases of divorce, the children generally stayed with their mother, and she retained control over the property she had brought into the marriage. If a woman was found guilty of infidelity, however, she would lose her right to her property and the children. Despite the presence of these rules, the Egyptian legal system was relatively lenient when it came to divorce, allowing women significant freedom in matters of marriage and property. If you enjoyed learning about the fascinating love, marriage, and family life in ancient Egypt, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more captivating historical insights. And let us know in the comments which civilization or topic you'd love us to dive into next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.